texted John Kunkel, said he's gonna be a little late, so let's go ahead and start. Get started.
Stand by, Mickey, we're making sure we have the recording set.
Because I see the one string, I don't see.
You don't see
Thanks,
it on?
Toby. Oh, boy.
Hold on.
I just want to make sure that it's.
That all looks right.
That looks right, yeah.
Yeah, we, I don't know, we went to the fireworks.
Did you go to the
here.
fireworks?
It's just, I don't hear anything.
You know, it was so foggy. It was like-
So I feel like we should hear
Yeah, yeah,
something.
right.
It says that it's live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
So no-
see
shows,
every-
it just shows this.
I mean, I was.
see it. I can hear 'em, I just
No,
couldn't
and
see
it
'em.
So
sounded
what
great. It
didn't
sounded
we
like an
click?
awesome
So where
song.
were you could
No,
really,
I was right on
you really
the
couldn't
child
see
too.
all
Did
that.
that.
I mean, there were a
That's
couple of little
strange.
ones you could kind of see, and you know.
So you don't think we have to click, go back here and click that?
Extra special.
We don't have to click
It
that?
sounded, you know, they did.
Yeah.
So you know when there's like a lightning thunderstorm,
Yeah.
the sky, like,
Kind of echoes a
but
little
it was
bit.
like colorful
We're
sky
paying
is
you,
what
so
it
you
makes
have to
it
get
look like.
I should just cancel it. I remember some pictures,
Is it working now? I think that's what it is.
Right.
but I was like a bummer. We were all like,
I'm like,
It's a minute
cannot
delay.
remember a Ford where,
If we have audio,
and it's cold.
That-
I was wearing, you know, like shorts and shorts, and I was
my
under
ears
a
dead.
blanket.
Well, it theoretically should at least go down.
But the
for
parade
kids.
was really good.
Do you have issues?
I do.
Yes.
My son was like, he's 7, and he was like sitting on my lap, and he's like, is this over?
Alright.
well, not much to watch.
I record, actually, we're recording, you know, before.
They didn't have
Alright, we are ready to go.
Okay.
You can hear it.
Don't kill yourself. Okay, welcome to the July 7th, 2026 Winnetka District Golf Services Advisory Board Special Meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 4:02 and ask Saba to take roll call for the attendance.
Member Lombardo.
Here.
Jackie Rosinas.
Here.
Eric Schmidt.
Here.
Troy Finnegan.
Here.
John Kunkel.
Here.
Commissioner Tyson.
Here.
Commissioner Corley.
Here.
And Chairperson Archibald.
Here.
Okay, all present.
All right, item 1.2, approval of the.
Hey, Mickey, I'm
One
sorry.
moment.
Could you ask everybody to turn on their microphones? You gotta hold the,
Also, Josh Kirkpatrick is not here at the moment.
Yes, correct. He's on his way. Okay, so this is like the old Verizon commercial. Can you hear me? Okay. All right, so item 1.2, approval of the July 7th, 2026 regular meeting agenda. Are there any requests for changes or additions to the agenda? Hearing none, I'd like to make.
Chair Archambault,
Yes.
if we would like to make a request to add member comment to the section, to the agenda after golf updates, that was not originally added to the agenda, so we would like to add that, please.
Okay, so is that, do I have to do a motion to add that?
That would just be to approve the agenda as amended.
Okay. All right, so could I have a motion to approve the July 7th, 2026 regular meeting agenda as amended?
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Voice vote, all in favor say aye. Okay. Public comment, Scott, I think your crew is here not for additional public comment, but for presentation, so, okay. We can move on. Agenda item number 3, approval of minutes. It's 3.1, approval of the May 19th, 2026 special meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of May 19th, 2026 special meeting?
Motion to approve the May 19th special meeting minutes.
Second. John, that was a second from you, okay. Roll call vote, Saba. Oh, wait a minute, just any discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Member Kunkel. Mr. Kunkel.
Approve.
Mr. Rosinas.
Approved.
Mr. Lombardo.
Approve?
Mr. Schmidt.
Approved.
Mr. Finnegan.
Approved.
Commissioner Corley.
yes.
Commissioner Tyson.
Yes.
And Chairperson Archibald.
Approved, thank you. Okay, Scott, agenda item 4.1, Skokie Playfield Master Plan Focus Group. The road group will lead the Skokie Playfield Master Plan Focus Group for the Golf Service Advisory Board. Scott, you have the floor.
Thank you, Vicki, appreciate it. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see everybody today.
Is your microphone on?
Is it off? Is it on? Is it on now?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
on.
good, okay, all right. Scott Ferris, President of Lakota Group, thank you for having us today. And today is really more of a casual conversation with you all as we kick off the Skokie Playfield master planning process. As you know, you all represent a big portion of that Skokie Playfield master planning area. Our job is to look at the broader perspective as an initiative that came out of the comprehensive plan that the Park District undertook over the last year. Our role is to identify opportunities, identify the constraints to making those things happen, and really look forward to reinvestment. Is there somebody on another line that's listening to us right now?
That's me.
Okay, sorry. Really identify a reinvestment strategy for this entire complex. As we started this process, and we've got a whole range of questions and thoughts, we really want to hear from you specifically regarding the golf facilities and everything that surrounds that. Our job is to put all of what we call these buckets into the context of this place we call Skokie Playfield. As we jumped into this, and this is not an initiative as part of this process, but one of the very first things we thought about is what is Skokie Playfield and what is that name? When I'm looking out at the sign today, it reminds me every time that I'm here, Skokie Playfield represents those playfields. That's what people think of when they come here. But what we're really thinking of is the full campus, the place that is where all of Winnetka recreates, right? There's the golf course, there's the Nielsen, there's the hockey rink. Some people think Duke Childs is part of this, but it's not part of this. So what we're looking at is all the boundaries from really the extension of Cherry Street all the way north to Pine Street, all the way back into the golf course. And while we're not really touching the golf course, because that was a reinvestment all to itself that's occurred as part of the community stormwater reinvestment strategy, we really want to hear from you how we can make this place better. And while today we are sitting here amongst the golf community, golf leadership community, we love your perspectives on everything, because it's not one isolated little community within this area, it's all of us, and how can we make this all better? And we want to challenge you to think outside the box. We want to hear what your thoughts are, what's working, what isn't, particularly related to the golf, the facilities that encumber the golf area. Big topic here, part of the Skokie Playfield area is circulation and parking. Big issue. When we think about all the other things that we'd love to see happen on this campus, they can't happen unless we solve for the riddle of parking and transportation, because those are the restrictors that limit us in many respects to what can happen on this site in this community. We want to think about all of the programs and offerings that are here. We want to think about those in the three dimension, not just the young people, but the older people, older generations, new programs, new sports, new ideas that we should be thinking of as part of this process. So I challenge you, we have a number of questions. Morgan's going to walk you through this. Morgan and Alexi are helping us manage this process. You'll hear a little bit about some kind of broader questions, but we'd like each and every one of your perspectives. You are users, but you're also residents here. I am too. And I think that adds a different layer for me. When I look at this, I don't think of it as a project. I think of it as my town, and how do I want my tax dollars reinvested in a way that are productive and provide benefit to the community for all generations today and those moving forward. As we think about, it's not just about us, it's about the next generation of people. So some of these are big ideas. Some of them may be little baby steps, but we want to hear everything from all of you. So thank you for the time today as part of your regular meeting. I'm going to have Morgan kind of walk us through some of the questions, okay? And please raise your hand if you've got a different idea, different thought, or whatever.
As Scott mentioned, I'm Morgan. I'm a landscape architect with the Lakota Group. Normally we do these meetings a little bit more casually, so bear with me as I try and augment the process. But just a little bit of background, as Scott mentioned. we're just at the kind of initial stages of the project. So right now we're in our information gathering stage. We'll meet with you guys, but we're also going to meet with other stakeholders in the community, the village, other program users. We've been out at the farmers market. We'll go to the Wednesday in the Woods and just try and get a good, broad community perspective and user group perspective on the site. And I'll pass this map around. That's just kind of the boundaries of our project site. So Scott described it, but just so you have a visual, it's really everything from Cherry Street down to Juke Childs. And we also want to think about like who our program partners are and other people in the community that we should be speaking to. So if there's anything else that crosses your mind, like you should definitely talk to these folks over here. Those are really valuable comments to mention. Maybe what we can do just to start is kind of go around with like some brief introductions so we can know who each of you are and what your perspective and your, your position on this committee is, and any other just kind of information about like how long you've been involved with the Park District and these particular offerings. Does that work for everybody?
Sure. Vince, go ahead, start it off. We'll just go around the room.
Vince Suarez, I'm with Kemper Sports. We're with the golf management company, the liaison on the golf side with the Winnetka Park District. Been involved for several years, and it'll be an interesting discussion.
Yeah, and we met you at the site tour. So we did a few weeks ago conduct a site tour with the Park District staff. So we walked around with our consultant team and just kind of touched on all the different uses on the site, how things are functioning now, different programs, different challenges from staff perspective. So we met Vince then. Nice to see you again.
Yep, great to see you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Miles Tucker. I'm the general manager of the golf course, also a Kemper Sports employee. Been at the club for just over 2 years.
Okay.
John Lombardo, a member of the Golf Advisory Board since April, a longtime resident of Winnetka, user of all the parks for the kids for a long time.
Jackie Rosinas, also member since of the advisory board since April or May, I guess, when I came. And I'm also a user. My kids use this, and been up here for about 8 years. So.
Eric Schmidt, member since April, May as well. Been a resident here for about 16 years with 4 kids playing in various sports and activities all throughout the Muskogee Playfields.
Mickey Archambault, a 41-year resident of Winnetka. Use of the golf facility since 1986, so I've been there for a long time. All 3 of my girls were raised here, and now we're entertaining occasionally our grandchildren. We've pretty much used every amenity that the Park District has to offer. I was also on the Park Board for 8 years and was on this committee starting in January.
Hi there, Troy Finnegan. I've been a Winnetka resident for 5 years, moved out here from San Diego before that. Was an avid user of parks facilities, local facilities there, and am here as well. My 4th kid is coming sometime before Tuesday of next week. So the other 3 have started to use some of these facilities. Look forward to expanding that to others, but already used almost all of them. Even my 2-year-old comes out and watches the baseball players, so I can get him all amped to start playing himself. My role as a member on the advisory board committee goes back to the inception in January. And I look forward to helping you guys out however I can.
Thanks.
John Kunkel, 18-year resident here, 18-year patron of the golf course as well. Started in the advisory board with these guys in January, and also former president of the Winnetka Men's Club, and still very active in the management of the Winnetka Men's Club.
Hi, Jeff Tyson. I'm one of the 7 Winnetka Park Board commissioners. I'm serving as a representative on this advisory board.
Okay.
When Scott was talking about how we all have different interests in different areas of the Skokie Master Plan, I was thinking one of the obvious challenges, which is we all share parking. We all share places to drive around. So I know I'm stating the obvious, but I think that's going to be one of your first challenges, and how we fit all the cars and allow people to get access to all of our amenities.
Yes, Scott Corley, been a Winnetka resident for 13 years, and likewise also a Winnetka Park District Board member of this board and that board.
Shannon Nazal, Executive Director of the Park District. That is all.
Sabakoya. I am also Admin Operations Coordinator for the Winnetka Park District.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I think maybe what makes sense is just to kind of start with like overall visioning and priorities. It sounds like everybody here wears a lot of different hats and has different experiences with the site. So maybe you can tell me what you guys feel is the most unique thing about the campus, what defines the campus from your guys' perspective.
Vince, I won't ask you to go first on that one.
Yeah, you guys can all jump in. Like, this is very conversational.
So, you know, it's Skokie Playfield or what you're undertaking or looking at really is a whole series of amenities that I think rivals any other village on the North Shore. Not only do we have golf course, an 18-hole golf course, we have a par 3 golf course, we have a driving range, we have a practice facility, we have paddle, we have tennis. I assume we have pickle occasionally? Occasionally. What am I missing? Ice arena, and play fields for the kids. So baseball, soccer, flag football, you pretty much name what sport you would like to have. It's all encompassed in this campus, as well as probably one of the best youth programs literally in Cook County. I mean, it's amazing. We pretty much have everything. And having said that, it's kind of like a lot of stuff that's fit into a property that we wish were double its size, but it isn't. So obviously one of the challenges, okay, how can we maximize and make efficient what we have? Troy, I'll let you.
Yeah, the only thing, I mean, parking's been mentioned. I know that's an issue. I luckily rode my bike here, and so I can walk, but that doesn't take away that issue for a lot of folks that aren't within reach in that way. Especially when you got a bunch of gear for sports, et cetera. You have a lot of pickup, drop-offs. It's not just the parking, but also flow. Because I've seen it get really crowded in here when folks are doing pickup time. But the other thing that I think marries up well to some of the conversations we've been having about golf, and I didn't mention, I said I use it all, but primarily golf. I'm an avid golfer, and I'm also on the men's club board. But is food service, we've talked about that being an improvement area for the golf facilities, and something I know Kemper's working on, and we're looking forward to continuing to improve. But some of the ideas we threw around were when you were at these other facilities, there isn't a great place to get food at those locations either. And so trying to think of it like you said, and I'm sorry, was it Scott? Like Scott said, you know, how is it one big ecosystem? I think there may be an opportunity to think through food options, beverage options, and ambiance and kind of hangout place for all of the residents who are coming for any of these other areas to be able to go grab some food with their kids afterward, hang out for a little bit, and a revenue generator for the park, hopefully. So that's one area I think that's a clear connection point that would be interesting to hear as you all continue to build out the plan.
John?
It's a unique facility in that in other communities, there's not that condensed version of all of these activities available. I've had multiple conversations with people who are only vaguely familiar about Winnetka, and they often cite this as one of the greatest things about Winnetka, and specifically the AC Nielsen Tennis Center, because if they're a tennis player, that's bar none the best around. And then I agree with Troy, like the golf clubhouse has the opportunity to be the central hub of everything that happens here, including, you know, the food service and certainly having a place for people to hang out. And it's really the only place where you can send your kids up on a bike and not see them all day and feel completely safe and know exactly what your kids are doing.
Jeff?
I feel like I'm cheating because we've been talking about this at the park board for so long, but another issue just to throw out there to make sure everyone's aware, if you're not already, we're on a floodplain. So as we talk about expansion or improvement, That's one of the first challenges we run into. I know we've talked about it related to the, on the golf course, but it certainly impacts other areas as well. And you've got another potential issue or challenge to work through is competing priorities. We're landlocked, so as some areas want to expand, does that mean you take away from other places or not? How, certainly a challenge how you're going to make it all fit and work.
Scott?
Sure. Yeah, just to echo the space constraint that everyone's mentioned, this is really unique. You know, Winnetka unique for being small in land size and not really any large areas opening up anytime soon. And then if you look at that map, it really kind of dials in how small the space on this huge piece of land is actually available for development. So, you know, some of the plans that we've seen for like a future ice center and things like that also can go up and down as well. Going down is probably harder to do or maybe impossible on the floodplain, but you know, if we can go up, like if we need expanded park district offices, can that be a second floor? Then, you know, maybe that can add to the usage of the space.
Go this way, Eric.
I'm an avid user of the golf course as well, both myself and my son, who's 8. He loves the par 3 course. He just did a tournament out there last week. So the facilities are great. I agree with what's been said for a large part of this year as far as like finding a way to get a better place to congregate and have food and things like that. I think it'd be well worth your time to talk to people in the paddle community because they've kind of sorted their own solutions out without a kitchen. They're not doing cooking, but there's 30 or 40 teams there that are playing 6-7 nights a week, and they're there till 11 o'clock midnight. They figure out how to, you know, supply, cater themselves and all kinds of stuff. But so they're going to have very, you know, potentially good ideas on how to support something for a large group of people. I think the space constraint is very real, and the challenge that probably the park district is going to have to deal with is just like how do you define what you want? You can't be everything for everybody, right? If somebody says that they want handball courts, are you going to say yes or no, right? I mean, I know that there's a lot of research out there saying that they want a pool in place of a par 3 course. Like, so some of, like, at some point you have to say no. You can't just say yes to everybody, right? So defining what you're going to support is going to go a large part towards helping you stay within the landlocked, you know, area that you're already constrained to. So I think that kind of defining that earlier than later is going to be very, very helpful in the process.
Okay, Jackie?
Yeah, I definitely agree with, you know, trying to find some kind of congregation space. I know I spend a lot of time on the baseball field over in the corner. You can be a little isolated over there. There's the one building, it's like the utility building, there's a bathroom, but, you know, I'm always like, gosh, if there was like some more drinks or food or something, or even just a space to kind of hang, I mean, or even, I don't know, knock it down and make more parking, but you can somewhere, you know, even with like some more shade to like, you know, a pergola. I know I also spend a lot of time at Northfield baseball, and there's a, you know, they've got a little, what do you call it? Not a pergola, but pavilion, you know, just with some benches and tables and stuff, and, you know, just again, a place that kids can, or people can go and hang out. And I think given all the things that are going on, especially the subsequent kids that are there, like the siblings, or you're in between, you're at a tournament and you're in between, and you're just kind of baking on the hot turf, you know, just kind of, yeah, those kind of areas I think would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks, Jackie. John?
What's unique is, I mean, having these two courses all here, like right together, is obviously we all know it's rare and great. And I mean, I've been in this town for 25 years, and it seems like every year the park district kind of just better in ways, other ways, maybe some other issues, maybe not related to Swift Playfields, but the egress, Scott, is that what you call it in your world? Getting in and out of here can be a nightmare. Especially on the weekends. I play golf. It was like Tuesday morning last week playing golf, and it was like a million degrees. It still was like trying to park. It's just a mishmash of directions, and so that seems like a real, like every week it's all, I don't want to keep, hammering the drum on it, but that's clearly something that would seem to be an area to really improve just the flow.
Okay. Miles and Vince, kind of an unfair question, but if you've got some comments or whatever from your observations in a couple of years here, go ahead.
I get the chance to visit a lot of different communities every day, every week, and I think my quick observation is you have just a lot of great opportunities between paddleball, par 3, 18 holes, ice rink, football, baseball, lacrosse, soccer, you name it, you tend to have it. And I think it's a very special place. And there's a lot of tough decisions that are going to have to be made about how to get in and out and what to do. And because that, I think, is obviously the biggest issue that I've noticed over the course of the 3 or 4 years is parking is a big issue. And getting people around the campus is challenging. But y'all have so much to be proud of what you have here.
Okay. Miles, anything to add?
Nope. Yeah, I mean, I would reiterate, as an operator there daily, parking has been the biggest concern and probably the biggest feedback that I hear on a daily basis, especially busy weekends.
Okay. Shannon, anything to add?
They've heard from me plenty already.
One thing to add, if I may, the golf course sign, when you go do your master plan and think about ingress, egress needs to move. You can't see around it when you're pulling your car up.
That's a good point. Yeah, we just know it, so we
Do it.
Yeah, we're, one of the best thing that happens was adding an exit right
Yes.
out of the parking lot,
Yes.
which was a huge thing. Okay.
Well, I mean, while we're talking about like flow, maybe we do just kind of focus on the parking and circulation. I think it would be helpful to note, maybe from all your perspective, like where parking and traffic issues are like the greatest, specific locations or times of day, or.
I think that all depends on what other activities are happening here. If there's a lacrosse tournament, then everything is packed and they're parking in the golf course because there's nothing available here or they're in the streets. And
Yeah.
You've got pedestrian issues getting across the busy road as well.
Yeah, when the playfields are being used here, and golf, and tennis, and paddle.
It's just the
and even
capacities.
hockey, are there
Yeah.
people who park beyond
Mhm.
boundaries on private streets?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
even when the
but-
new Trier ball fields are being used, then they don't have enough parking in their areas to cover their needs, so they park in our areas, and then if we say have something going on at ice or a tournament or whatever, then we park over on their side, so it's the getting back and forth too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a parking study, but it's gonna tell you, oh my God. So.
Well, that's a great, can I talk from here, or do I have to get up and talk to you?
Just so we can catch the audio.
That was a really great thing you just said. So the parking thing is a huge topic. And I guess I asked the Park District and the Park District leadership, how important is parking over the fundamentals of what this place is supposed to be for the community? That's the first question. The second question is, there are alternative forms of transportation that this community and this Park District could support besides getting in your car to go 300 feet or a half a mile?
It's
Uh,
interesting because the state of Illinois passed a golf cart law where you can have leaves.
Exactly, and we've been pushing for a bike improvement system in this community for a long time as well. So to me, it's like, if you say we need more parking, people are gonna jump all over more parking, and more parking costs a lot of money. More parking does not make your programs and your open space and your recreation pursuits better. Does nothing for you other than provide parking. So I asked that question because it's a fundamental question in this whole conversation of a master plan when you're weighing your dollars and cents. And so we sit here today and we see a ton of things going on. There are periods there are peak periods and trough periods. I can say that I play paddle in the winter and it's empty out there and there's plenty of parking space, golf course not going, the ice rink might be buzzing a little bit. Sunday mornings, there's some folks over at the tennis thing. But that time of year is not a lot of people, so we're all gonna be looking at a lot of asphalt. This time of year, we're pinched to the gills and we're trying to figure it out. So I guess the question is it a parking management strategy that we're looking at, or is it parking lots that we're looking at the end of the day that we should be thinking about? We'll look at all these things, but I say that because there's other ways to figure out parking that don't require us to spend money on parking lots. We have lots of partners in the community, lots of other places that have parking lots that might not be using them at years where we can figure out solutions. It might be solutions to get people, encourage them to ride their bike or use a electric golf cart or have a little shuttle system in the summertime that picks kids up. And I guess the point is thinking broadly, because this is a master plan. This is not like we're gonna go fix it tomorrow. How do we think about this? If we're gonna have a gigantic ice arena out there, then we better figure that one out.
A consideration is that all of the facilities here have some sort of equipment need that also often drives the need to bring a car.
Yeah.
Because there isn't storage
Right.
opportunities for that equipment.
Right.
Right, so hockey is the biggest one, right? I have friends who have Suburban simply because their kids play hockey.
Right.
And they need the space for the equipment.
I think that has to do a lot with flow too, of how you have, pick up and drop off and those types of things. So if you're dropping off the kid with their clubs or whatever, how are they getting to the area that they need to get to, and not having to lug their clubs all the way from,
Right. Back of the
Green
bike.
Bay Road.
Right, yeah. Which we see kids riding their bikes with their clubs in the back.
Right.
Right. So the other thing which, this is reaching for the stars, but obviously where the ice arena is, if you continue to go south, you've got Little Duke, which is, okay, great when it's in use, but it's for the most part vacant land.
Yeah.
And then you got the Cherry Street parking, and then you have property that's owned by New Trier.
Right.
So I don't know if there's any opportunity to even throw a stone at that one and say, could we either get a reciprocal agreement to somehow find a way to do additional parking on really heavy, heavy usage days, or, and I know they would choke if they heard me say this, but, is there a possibility to acquire land from them? Could we buy part of?
I think we're asking you guys to throw out all the ideas and not to squash any of them. I mean, it's the same with the topic of the pool, right? It's been bounced around this community for 30 some years that I've lived here.
40-something.
Yeah, more, and it'll keep being bounced around. But to the point, we can't just make it go away and pretend like we didn't hear it. We have to still look at it, listen to it, and see what it means if you were to have it in light of all these other things that we want, because it's a trade-off. We can't just say one sport or one facility is bigger and more powerful than the other. You've got to look, this process has to look at all of them. So to your point, if we should ask somebody or investigate that idea, let's put it on the list.
There's also that little corner land that's owned by the Forest Preserve
Yeah.
that's adjacent to the golf course.
In the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other one, and then, the park board will probably follow me home on this one. So there was a phenomenal presentation to basically provide a new hockey arena, which I don't know if you saw it, Scott, or saw the arena. I mean, it was fabulous. It's $47 million. But, so I saw that presentation and it was like, it'd be nice if you could do it. Same issue, so now you expand to hockey, more of a constraint. So, my thing was, and it may have been answered, but, I was sitting there going, this is a developer that was being creative on how this thing could be funded. Okay, great, love the concept. Could there be another location other than Skokie Playfield where this ice arena could be built? So, right off the top of my head, I'm going, geez, it'd be great if they do it at the old Mariano site, except Northfield is like, this is going to be
Retail.
a supermarket, and we're going to hold out. But my point was, and I think they've looked at it, are there other locations other than in this complex where an expanded, nice, beautiful hockey arena could be done? If so, okay, now you've just got yourself some more land for whatever. If you want to expand the parking, If you could do a deal with New Trier, could you expand on the south side of the Cherry Street parking for the Little Duke stop on occasional days? Because that's not used all the time. So just other things I would throw into the pot.
Anybody else have any, I mean, wild ideas that are out there?
Well, I mean, I think that, I forgot who mentioned like elevation. I mean, if there's an opportunity to put, to figure out how to do a combination of office space and parking using elevation in any areas, then that's definitely, like, you can incrementally add, 20 spaces here, or 10 spaces here, or this or that. Yeah, in just different ways, being creative with that without having to, I mean, I'm sure negotiation with New Trier or other areas could be decades long, so that's, like, you got, like, figuring out what's feasible. There's, back behind all the baseball fields, it's mostly a maintenance area and whatnot, but, and I don't know what the use case is for everything. The golf guys probably do more and whatnot, but, if there's a place to put parking, a small elevated parking structure back there, that's definitely kind of like the wildest of ideas that I would throw out there, but it is out there, and I've seen cars park out there when the road's been left open and it shouldn't have been along the backside of that.
Yeah.
People immediately start parking back there.
Yeah.
So, and it's located in the right spot, so.
Just adding on to that, maybe this was brought up, but in terms of elevating, I'm hearing like parking spots plus more office space, or I know the idea of a parking structure doesn't sound appealing, but in San Diego, at San Diego State University, they actually created a parking structure that has an entire football field on top of it, which is just slightly above level. And so you have multiple recreational facilities built in on top of the parking, which gives you the view of the recreational facilities and the feel of an additional recreational facility, but additional parking included. So I don't know if that's something you've looked at.
We've done it with pickleball on top parking, or in paddle. So you take it off the ground and elevate it, so it doesn't eat up your land. One of the thoughts I had, and I think, Vince, you brought it up, is you see a lot of different places. You've worked in a lot of different communities. We've done that as well. And somebody brought up the word, and I'm going to use this word because I think it's one of the most important words in the conversation, that is revenue generating. When we think of these things, in the back of our mind, there always needs to be the sense of, can we, whatever we do, find a way to have a revenue generation component to it. Food source is obviously a really good one of those. And as we think of this, there's a lot of things here, none of which are necessarily in their own right and in their own business unit, they're revenue generated, but they don't share across the spectrum. I heard people saying, well, there's nothing to get a hot dog here, and there's the food service over at the clubhouse isn't that great, and pickleball's got the guy coming from Glenview to cook the hamburgers that are half raw, and all the other stuff that goes. What can we do here in this bigger picture to start to think about revenue generation and making it sustainable, meaning that it can stay all year round. So these things are seasonal, and we want our hamburgers and hot dogs in the summer, but they're not there in the wintertime. How do we do? Would we entertain an idea of having a grill, a restaurant at the golf club all year round?
We keep saying that would be fantastic. If you've been down to Wilmette, the lawn that they have there is a fantastic facility, and half the people that go there, literally 50%, are not golfers, and there's no other recreational facilities there.
Right.
So they're bringing in revenue from the community for a great service to the community in a top-notch way.
And it's owned by the village.
Yeah. I'm thinking of
Scott, have you, or maybe you're contemplating this as part of it, have you done a study on how many actual users there are in any given day during the summer?
On this, we'll get that information from the Park District, for sure. How many programs are operating on any given day, how many users are at the golf course, how many trips are generated in and out of here, yeah. But the question I had, the reason I was asking that question is because, one of the areas we're focused on is all that area by the hockey rink and the parking lot and the paddle and the golf club and the putting green area. All those areas to us are part of this what could be better in the conversation. And somebody, you've all mentioned, the paddle has kind of gone it alone and done their own thing. And they've done a pretty good job because they've taken their membership and rolled it up to like 800 people, and it's, overloaded now to that point. And fiscally sustainable, doing their own thing. Is there a different way of thinking about the relationships of all these different clubs or organizations as part of this conversation? You got hockey, you got paddle, you got golf. Is there a hub for all? And they all have their own little homes and their own little kingdoms. There's no one place where they all operate out of. So, Vince, when you go to a country club, of which the country clubs are the competition to everything we have here at Skokie Playfield, they have everything figured out that, you go to play paddle, and there's a paddle house that's also used in the wintertime, but then used for the grill off of the main clubhouse dining room, off of the golf course. Should we be thinking about things a little bit differently? Like, maybe paddle isn't in the right place where it is today. Well, it is, because that's where the paddle club has set their ground, they've invested their money, but again, thinking long-term, is there a better way to think about them? Should they be out by the clubhouse in the wintertime, serving the clubhouse and food service, and give us the space back closer in where we need parking and circulation for a hockey rink? Those are the kind of things I think we should be thinking about. Or are those things like, hey, don't go down that pathway, I don't think that's what we need to be.
Scott, I would say never close the book on anything that you can think out of the box on.
Yeah.
It is an ecosystem, as I said, right? So
Yeah.
we all generally know everybody as well, because,
Yeah.
either our kids play hockey or we play paddle, so like
Yeah.
there's
I just think there's all these spaces that aren't optimized and being utilized efficiently through all the seasonality of this place. And this Skokie Playfield, whatever the name, this is like its own little club for the community. It has everything in one place. And I think we should be thinking outside the box on these problems and where we should put things, because ultimately this parking, everything is going to be dictated by this parking and this circulation issue and our stormwater cap. And so we're going to have to be very creative about how we solve that. One of the things we've also, on our team, we should say, we also have traffic and a civil engineering consultant, all of whom were part of the building of the Skokie Playfield, the original Skokie Playfield. So we understand the dynamics of what we did, what the village has done, what our capacities are, and at least we're operating from like a known metric versus the unknown. So there's a lot of good built into that.
Is there and maybe I missed this, or I'm sure the Park District, you guys have talked about this, but kind of what's the problem statement? Like you're an independent third party that's come in to help solve a problem. Is it, we just want a better plan long-term and want to make this more efficient, more productive, more revenue? Is it all of these things? Like where are we starting in terms of what your mission is and why you're involved in helping?
So from the Park District's perspective, when we went through our comprehensive master plan process, it came up a number of things. Clubhouse, expand hockey, add a pool, do all of these things, right? And the question is, okay, well, where are you going to put all of it? And then you have the conversations of the individual groups that are wanting to expand hockey or expand paddle and those types of things. And the analogy that I've liked to use is that we're playing a game of Tetris and we're losing. And so all of these little pieces are trying to get fit into this box that it doesn't quite fit into. So how do we make all of the things that folks want in their community, in this campus, how do we make all those things fit? And with that, knowing that there is a flow issue, there's a traffic flow issue, there's want for additional restroom facilities, there's a want for better pedestrian flow throughout the facility. So how can I walk from one point to another point in a smooth motion and not have to walk through the middle of a parking lot to get there, or on the road to get to that point? So there's a lot of things that came of that through that process that we looked at and said, okay, well, we need to look at this campus as a whole rather than as individual pieces, and that's how this came about.
Got it. So that makes perfect sense. There's a lot of things we've been talking about, but it's, we as a village, the Parks District wants to hear our community members and provide these improvements, but we are constrained. How do we do it?
That's the challenge.
But also to not be reactive to any particular club or organization having their own directive and getting caught in making decisions that then blow up. So if you have your own plan of how you want to see it take shape, then you will tell the hockey club or the paddle club how things are going to be laid out and how parking and circulation. Otherwise, their issue becomes your problem to navigate in the public spectrum. So when the hockey unbelievable plan comes and we're all like, oh my God, I love it, I want it. Okay, well, that becomes a public debate, and you're at the foreground of it because you're the regulating body that says yes. And if you say yes, does that mean you're in favor of only hockey families? What happened to the people that are in the golf course? So it's really to make sure that we're all on the same page. Our job is to navigate the conversation amongst all the interested parties, stakeholders, residents, user groups. Take all that data, develop a number of scenarios that show how we can optimize this and meet the goals of development regulations, site constraints, programmatic elements, all that. Put some reality to price tags to some of these things. Some of these things might not be things that you as a park district tackle, but another outside entity is going to support it, and you're going to be the land provider of that amenity. These are things that we may not be able to finance or fund. We're going to bring those up back to the community so they can see what fits, what doesn't fit. And to the point of the pool, you can't just throw it in the garbage and say we didn't look at it. You have to show that, hey, you put a pool in, we don't have enough parking and circulation to get 5 people to the pool on a nice day. Those are the fundamentals. Not to mention, people aren't going to want to pay for the big number price tag on it that was going to require a bond referendum. So those are the things that will come out of the conversation. We'll debate it amongst the park board and our steering committee. And then we'll bring forth a recommended plan of action, and we'll be able to then dialogue that plan of action with a hockey club, with the paddle club, with the tennis, with the golf, with everybody else. And in that conversation, figure out how we're going to solve for traffic, parking, bike, offices. The offices might not be here. Maybe the offices have to go somewhere else. Those are the kind of things we're going to look at.
Scott, maybe an unfair question, but if you're crystal balling this from a time perspective, what's your anticipation from initial thoughts, all the interviews, all of the input from residents to an initial plan, the process?
Yeah.
The linear process. So if you're looking at the linear process, what would, and if you don't want to answer it.
I'm asking the boss. I think our promised land is at the end of this year to have a plan in place.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're going to be very busy.
Yeah, and that's okay. At the end of the day, I think we can. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good information already in place. The park board's done their homework on a comp plan. They've laid the groundwork. We just need to go through the scenarios and talk to people.
Okay.
And we're doing it now. It's a little. We're glad we have all of you today because this is a tough time of the year to get everybody around when they're out at camp and everything else. So that's the hardest part, is getting with everybody at this time of year. But we can do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Scott, one other thing, as a follow-up to my question about the total number of users and the equipment,
Mhm.
is I know specifically at the golf course, like the number of people playing that golf course from the village is probably 10%, 20%.
Hire from out of town now, right?
Power from
Yeah.
out of town, which necessitates inflow of traffic.
Yeah.
Right? Hockey's probably close to the same.
Do you anticipate any impact from Glencoe opening and some of the other improvements that are going on around there? Or is that just good for everybody, that everybody's upgrading?
I think we're probably at about 35% Winnetka residents.
On the golf
Overall.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't, when Glencoe opens, anything that's new that opens.
Shiny for a
is
while.
gonna get,
Yeah.
yes, shiny for a while.
Yeah.
I think it would come, they're gonna do better because they have that new facility.
That's my point. It's the building that, the wow factor of the
Yeah.
building, right? Yeah.
But, whether or not that's gonna generate another 30% of rounds for them.
Probably not.
I would be
Yeah,
astonished.
Yeah.
the golf course isn't the same as ours, so.
Right.
What's interesting, we worked on the Sunset Valley Golf Course a couple years ago with Highland Park, Park District Highland Park. After doing their comp plan, their decision was to reinvest in that course and shut down the country club site up on 41 and Half Day Road. And made a good investment. Rick Jacobson, and we all know, did an awesome job. And a very simple, modest little club facility, amenitized, just killed it. And they're making a second round of investments in there. The second round is going to be indoor TrackMan facilities, so they can operate and push seasonality all the way through winter and generate revenue off of that facility. So those are the kind of things that, you guys have probably already talked about all these things, but those are the kind of things, and they don't generate necessarily more traffic or more parking. We're just using the parking lot in the wintertime when it wasn't being used.
Right.
So those are the kind of things we'll think about in the conversation.
Okay.
All right? Any other thoughts? Any other perspectives for, I mean, we.
Oh, is there more to present?
Well, we have, I think for us, it was really just getting with all of you,
Okay.
making sure we're hearing your concerns, your thoughts, golf or otherwise, if there's specifics to golf that we should be talking about, that we should know of. Are there anything that's related to the golf that, hey, guys, that's off limits? Or, we're thinking about the driving range again, and we might make some changes to that, because that was in the first round of Skokie Playfield many years ago.
Yeah, so we have, so this committee, certainly is looking at, so we've got a list of priorities, which you're welcome to stick around and
Yeah,
listen to if
yeah.
you want. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on that, top tracer for the driving range. Reconfiguring the clubhouse and outdoor lounge at the clubhouse, so that, there'd be a social space outside of the clubhouse building. Again, we talked about expanding food and beverage service, so it does the entire facility, but certainly for paddle, tennis, ice arena, because they're the ones closest to. And we even went down to, one of the items is, we don't know what it all entails yet, but repairs to the halfway house. And, that in and of itself is, it's from a situation standpoint on the golf course, it's great where it's located.
Yeah.
But it's distant from the clubhouse, so all the issues of trying to service it and get people to work there and, yada, 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 all of that stuff. So, I don't think we have anything different than what you guys have already heard. The golf course is, I think in most of our opinions, is the premier public golf course, other than the Glen Club, on the North Shore. Rank it against anybody. So from that perspective, and to your point, Rick Jacobson did a phenomenal job working with the village to use it and help with stormwater. It was remarkable.
Yeah.
And it works wonderfully. Well engineered, well designed. I mean, a home run. As much rain as we've had,
It's usable.
people were playing Sunday.
Yeah. It's
Pretty
amazing.
remarkable.
Yeah.
Where it would have been closed for days. So I don't think purely from, and Vince or Miles, you can certainly interrupt me or have a different opinion, but the golf course itself, there's very little you can do to improve upon it because it's a gem now. So you could say, yeah, I want faster greens, and you get into design stuff, and I would say, nah, you're wasting time on that. It's
Yeah.
fine, just the way it is from that perspective. It's well maintained. So from that, could we use a better chipping area? Yeah. Do people take too many divots? Yeah. Do they tear stuff up? Yeah. The driving range, top tracer would be great, or is there a way, and we talked about it in this committee for, top tracer or something like it, so it could be used off-season. But you got to couple that with, we want to make sure that this food and beverage service is available for them. We've talked about, could you expand simulators inside the clubhouse? So once again, the campus is constrained by space, the clubhouse is constrained by space. But could we do it for someone who's a really good space planner? Yes. But the biggest crux besides parking is that place is a floodplain. So you start making, capital improvements on this site, you are going to be subject to floodplain regulations. So it costs a bunch of money in the golf maintenance building.
Yeah, I
So it's
remember
like,
that, yeah.
we exceeded it, and it's like, oh my God. So a whole heck of a lot of money had to get spent for that. You would have that with any one of the buildings, clubhouse, paddle house, ice arena, anything. This building, it's all in a floodplain.
Mhm.
So you start spending money, everything's gotta go up 4 feet, or you gotta find a way to flood proof or flood protect the building, which is huge dollars for any building you're looking at. So if you can find a way to solve that problem.
The golf course clubhouse, do you ever get people that say, I wish I could get closer to it with a vehicle for drop-off purposes?
Sure.
That's like the
Yeah.
largest complaint that you get on your feet daily.
Okay, yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I,
the convenience of shopping your clubs from the parking lot to the clubhouse. And
yeah. That may be easier to solve for than building a building.
Well,
But
it
there's
is
still,
very
there's,
solvable.
there's things in the way.
Yeah, no, because there's a drop-off location
Yeah.
on weekends and busy days.
Yeah.
So you can drop off your clubs like you do at a country club.
Yeah.
Your clubs appear at the clubhouse.
Yeah.
So no, that works.
Anything else about operationally of the clubhouse or that you get concerns that are issues that we should be trying to address?
I mean, nothing that would be not required to rebuild
Mhm.
space for significant renovations.
Yeah, Scott, here's a question for you. So if we were to do things outside of the clubhouse building, so an outdoor patio and stuff, does that go against MWRD's?
No, no, it doesn't.
It's
That's,
outside
that's,
of the
that's,
building, it's its own.
that's its own thing, and that's impervious surface calculation, and then compensatory storage, but not floodproofing or habitual space. So that's different. And you also mean that the amount of money you can put against the assessed value of the structure, yeah, doesn't.
Right,
Mhm.
okay. Well, that's good.
That's different, yeah. So if
Yeah.
you want to, that's why I'm saying, if you want to change the parking, change the road, put a patio in, not the same standards under the MWRD. Village regulated maybe, but not,
Right,
yeah.
you had to bring up the devil.
Sorry.
Okay, Scott.
All right, do we have other
I
questions?
got one question for you. With the idea of going up and, I assume we can add additional height to buildings here, but is going down at all feasible in this kind of floodplain?
I honestly don't think so. I think
Yeah.
once you get down, you're gonna be in the water table. It's gonna be
Yep.
a nightmare to de-water it, pump it. and-
Yeah.
I mean, it'd
That's
be
where
a
the swimming pool could be.
Right,
yeah,
right.
swimming pool. Yeah, natural
Would
swimming
be
pool,
no
make a
matter-
pond.
Yeah,
And even when you go up, so even when you go up there, you're under the development regulations of height and FAR. A floor area ratio will still apply to that against the whole site. I think you'll probably be fine. But when you go up, I don't know if that triggers that MWRD valuation assessment. It's not that you're covering land, you're just putting more building, but it's a cost of the value of this piece of investment.
It would be included in that 50%
Correct.
overall value of the building.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Even
I
go
would
up on
assume
an
that this would
existing
be
facility.
Like a brand-new building, though, like, because that only applies to existing buildings, right?
Correct.
Yeah. or-
Yeah, if you were to drop something and start over, then,
Yeah.
I mean, then
Like-
you would
like the
build it.
ice arena, if it was
Yeah.
brand new, then.
Yeah, I mean, because you would build it to the specifications that you need for
That would be
proofing at
completely
that
waterproof.
point
Yeah,
too,
yeah, okay.
rather than trying to mitigate an older building.
Yeah, right, sure.
Have you given serious thought to, I mean, this is a nice building, it's a nice administration, but to move it, take it off-site somewhere else? and-
Yeah.
And then this is.
Yeah, this
nice.
could be for better space for something
I mean, it
else.
seems like it would be a,
Yeah.
Mhm.
John, at one time, this wasn't here, so the
Yeah.
district offices were offsite.
yeah, I mean, we,
So,
Yeah, a long time ago, one of the thoughts was, I still think it's a thought, was to actually have the road come around this whole thing. So if the road services it, you could bring the access back into the middle of the site and then back out again, you'd have a circulation pattern. Because right now, you just have a big dead-end loop right in the front of this place. That's part of the problem.
so, okay. Anything else from you guys?
I think that was it. I think we were just happy to have a little time with all of you today, and if there's other thoughts, please, can they get information to Shannon? We're happy to answer other questions, get more information. If you have more things, hey, you want us to look at something that you popped in your mind, let us know. We'll be back with all of you at some point in time with ideas and solutions, and then you can have at us.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. When do you think, other than before the end of the year?
Oh,
Or
probably,
would it
in-
be the end of the year?
probably in early fall, we'll have some sort of presentation,
Yeah.
draft of ideas and stuff like that,
Okay.
when people are all back in town again.
Yeah, because our next meeting is 3 months from October, I think. So-
October? Oh, we'll be, yeah, we'll, before that sometime, or whenever you guys want it, but we'll have some sort of open house element that we provide options and ideas and solutions of what we're hearing.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I had to check with her if I said
Yeah,
the right
and
thing.
there's,
Yeah, you keep saying check with your project manager. and
She's the
you better off.
boss.
You must be an owner.
got it.
All right, any-
There are other QR codes for the project website also like posted around in this building here and around the site, so.
And those are surveys to take, yeah.
Yep, it links to a survey and the overall website where we'll
Yep.
be posting all of our updates, so.
Okay, yeah, if we can, so we could, as you get that stuff, send it our way, that would be great.
Yeah, we can send the link to the website. The website's already
Website will
live.
have it.
Uh-huh,
Okay, great.
we can send that to everybody.
Okay.
We will also be at the Wednesday in the Woods tomorrow night with a pop-up, so if anybody's
So will
going
I.
to that.
So
feel
Scott,
free
if
to
you
stop
can
by.
solve this problem, you would be the architect of the century.
For, so which problem is that?
Nah,
I got enough at home right now.
You can solve this and make the
all the
majority of
problems.
people.
I'm solving all of them.
This is an
Holy
easy
water
one.
over.
I think there's tremendous, I personally, having used this, having seen this, having been involved in the work that's out there with you all in the past, going by here, living here, I see tremendous opportunity here. How we navigated around all of these development restrictions is the one piece. The other piece is finding the money to make these things happen. So, but I really believe, just like this, if you have a really good, compelling vision, the money will follow it. And this town is not short on resources if you have a really good idea that people can get behind, everybody can get behind.
No, I agree. I agree with you.
Speaking of it, television, let's.
Little copy.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, very much. This was awesome.
Thank you, guys.
And Scott, you're welcome to stick around for the rest if you'd like.
I think it'd be helpful for
And your
Scott
team?
to hear this.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go on to item 5.1, golf priorities worksheet results. Shannon, you want to,
Sure.
got your name on that, so go ahead.
I'll start us off. So at the last Golf Advisory Board meeting, the members ranked priorities from the worksheet by staff. We went through that exercise with everyone. And so the top 5 priorities identified from that activity were long-term consideration of new or reconfigured clubhouse facility with added parking and multi-use bays. 2 was create outdoor lounge or social space on the south side of the clubhouse and evaluate parking impacts. 3rd, expand food and beverage service to paddle, tennis, and ice arena. Number 4 was explore top tracer range, and number 5 was halfway house repairs. So with those identified priorities that the advisory board would like to see accomplished, the next step would be to look at each item based on cost, revenue potential, and feasibilities, and feasibility, and then we could potentially take these to the park board for consideration.
So, given the presentation that the Lakota group just gave us, I would think some of these would be part of, and Scott, I'm gonna direct this at you. I think kind of what we're talking here is things you're going to be addressing as part of a bigger plan. And if you're looking to basically present some solidified ideas by the end of the year, I would think part of that's gonna start throwing some budgets at these things, you know, preliminary budgets. Okay. I mean, that's what I would recommend, to the.
But I don't want to delay.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, like.
Oh, no, I don't wanna delay
Finding the
these.
money, just
Well,
finding
here-
the money for a master plan that could be upwards of $50 to $70 million is different than, $8 million for a major outdoor lounge, or $6 million or whatever.
But in our study,
Could be
we'll be
$100,000.
looking at some of
Could be
those things,
a
so
million.
it doesn't mean you have to wait for us.
That was the
to-
question.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so, so then I'll kind of challenge you on it. So if you wanted to find out what a reconfigured clubhouse or a new clubhouse would be, that's an ask, and where do you go for resources to be able to have someone budget that for you? So, back in the day, when I was in that world, you could get contractors to do budgeting for you. Go ahead, Scott.
So our team is Lakota, Williams Architects, DeWalt Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
All of us together are gonna be looking at all these things, and we are gonna look at the clubhouse and say, it's gonna be about a $12 million renovation, We're gonna be able to put budgets to all these things that are part of this plan. So a lot of the things you're talking about are gonna come out of it. If you guys say, hey, we're just wanting a patio going out there right now, we don't wanna hold you up, but we're gonna look at that, we're gonna put a budget to it. The patio may only be a $80,000 improvement or some small thing. The important thing in that is, as we develop this plan and we highlight all the different things that come out of it in a final plan, there'll be a part of it that's the implementation part. And the implementation part will say priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, and it'll align with ease of funding, ease of permitting, ease of implementation. And that's what you're speaking to. Like, I don't wanna hold up the whole show, I just wanna put a patio in. So that will come out of this, unless you guys are like, oh my God, I wanna do it this fall type of thing.
And then what I would say too is when you're looking at these as well, based on what comes of the campus master plan in, say, the location of the clubhouse itself. I mean, maybe it's flipping the putting green and the clubhouse to get it closer to the parking area or something like that. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, right? But so is it looking at what we have now or what we could potentially have in the future? Is it important to get something done complete now? Or if it's cost feasible, do it now, knowing that this could change in the future and it might look different 5, 6, 10 years down the road. If it's something that's more involved with, say, the halfway house repair, that the location of that is not changing, or with food and beverage. Now, the equipment and the things in the clubhouse could potentially be different later on. The spaces could be different, whatever the case may be. But that's a lot more operational at this point. And so those are things that I believe are the lower hanging fruit that could be worked on in the interim of going through the entire campus master plan process. So there's still the priority. Yeah, we want to look at the clubhouse. We want to look at top tracer. We want to look at all of these things. They're still the priorities. But in the interim, let's look at these 1, 2, 3 things first while the campus master plan project is ongoing. So then you have more information once that's complete to move further on in those particular projects. Does that make sense?
Looking at the list, I would say that we should focus on 2 through 5 and let 1 be part of Luca.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, three might be very much tied to 1. But I agree with, so 3 maybe, but 2 for sure, we could look at that right away.
So
I don't think you'll get it implemented.
I think 3 is tied to 1, however, I think it's also tied to 2. So if we can create an experiential place with not spending too much outside patio, then we need the food and beverage to be able to back it up, and that creates an opportunity for more revenue and a social area for everyone else.
Right. So, I'm gonna sound like I'm throwing cold water on it. I'm trying to be cognizant of the process to be able to get this stuff. So, we can work on this stuff, so we have to have some idea of cost. We don't have it, Park District does not have it in the budget for this year.
Correct.
So it'd be something you'd have to budget for next year. You gotta get it approved by the village. I mean, this town is not quick to go ahead and give you permits for stuff, and then there's MWRD, and so the process to get this stuff, there are a lot of individual steps to get there. Do I wanna do it? Do I wanna go forward? Absolutely. So I would love to be able to get sense of location and cost, certainly for number 2. I think we have a good idea for number 4, which is top tracer. Halfway house, can certainly wait. And then the clubhouse is, we could pick a number on this, Scott, you could probably pick a number right now for a clubhouse. My guess would be $20 million. But there are so many things dependent upon that.
Yeah, and as part of our process, we're gonna say, this is what we think should go in that clubhouse, and you all need to weigh in on that. How much space? Do you want revenue generation source? So you might need to make a space big enough for small parties, small events, a wedding, or whatever. The outdoor space, you know, you can do a $500,000 outdoor space, or you can do a $50,000 outdoor space. You know, how many fire tables do you want? Do you want retractable louvers on your pergola and all? And there's a million little variables in there, all of which we're gonna kind of navigate through this process and put a budget to. So it's a good idea if we do it as part of this process, because I think it's gonna spit out a real project for you guys next year to dive into a patio or whatever. It's gonna be an easy layup. But if all of a sudden, everybody in this process falls in love with the new clubhouse that we come up with, that's pulled all the way up front next to the paddle house, and the back is all brand new, different, whatever, then that outdoor space might be completely moved. It will be part of a new building, potentially. See what
Well,
I'm
the
saying?
flip side to that is, again, how do you not spend a lot of money and still do something outside of the
Yeah, I
clubhouse?
think you have a plan for an
Yeah.
outdoor patio. I just think you should let it track through this and then do it, because if you try and do it outside of this, it's gonna be like, why are they going off doing that when they said they were doing a master plan?
Well, I think the way this advisory board is operated in our timelines and our next meeting being in October tracks well with that, because you all said early
Yeah,
fall
we'll have
anyway,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
Okay.
we'll have some good stuff for you.
love it, I'm ready.
And then knowing that anything that would be done for 2027 would be included potentially in the budget process for 2027, which that process finalizes November, December. So now we do have staff recommended budgets that come sooner than that particular time frame. So we can, as staff, work with Kemper on some of the, I mean, they're not low-hanging fruit, but some of the ones that are easier to come up with costs without going through a complete exercise of just getting estimates of, okay, well, this is the potential square footage and this is the price per square foot kind of deal. We can do those types of things on some of these other ones, like whether it's the halfway house or something like that. I mean, we can work on some potential estimates that we can look at providing to the park board for consideration in the budget. Not to say that those are going to be the only things for capital that would need to be done for the golf course in general, because there are other needs for the golf course as well, capital-wise, and there's only so much reserve
right.
to utilize, unless you're going out to
You're kind of in the same
referendum or
thing. It's
something.
like, it's the priority list all the way around. So there's things that's, been budgeted for 27, 28, 29 and beyond.
Yeah.
Equipment, this, that, and the other stuff.
Things that aren't as pretty.
Yes, that's a nice word to use. So, but listen, Scott, I assume you would be a resource of like good, better, best on an outside patio.
Yep.
What's good cost, what's better cost, what's best cost, and
We can
that
fold-
kind of
we can
thumbnail
fold that
stuff.
up- We can fold that into this process.
Yeah,
if
that'd be
that's
awesome.
something that you want.
Okay, because I know you've got those
I
capabilities.
know we all have some vision about what that should be. Would it be helpful for us to document what that vision is, so Scott can review it?
Sure.
Like including where the location is?
Yeah. Yeah, again, for me, I hope it's temporary, because I hope we get a new clubhouse. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know when it's
when-
gonna happen, but in
Yeah.
the meantime, you wanna have something.
Right.
And it's where is it, and where, take your best shot for where you think it should
If
be.
you have some thoughts in your mind, some programmatic elements that you want to see, just share that with us, that's fine, that'd be great. South side
Well-
of thing, this is what we envision, love to have some tables, chairs, umbrellas, Tivoli lights, a few, opera ski, fire tables, whatever it is, just
You've
you
been
give us
to,
that list and we'll
Yeah.
plug in.
you've been to Sunset, you've been to Wilmette. Those
Scott,
are-
when are you done with the input portion, when you want to start consolidating all of your data?
I think probably by the middle of August.
Yeah.
By the middle of August.
phase one mid-August.
Deadline of mid-August.
So,
And then we'll use September as putting all these ideas together, so we'll start being able to bring some concepts and
Visualization.
thoughts to it.
and I think as we lay out what that location is, whatever strategies they might come up with around the clubhouse might be built around that, so that it doesn't have to be rebuilt.
Right. Okay, so Scott or Jeff, any initial thoughts here for what we're dangling.
What I thought I heard was, if we go through each of the priorities, number one, we're saying that should be part of the master planning process.
Yep.
We're kind of letting go of that one for now.
100%.
Then we said for number two, it sounded like we talked about both. It sounded like there was maybe a short term and a long term. Where did we end up on that?
Two's short term, so it's not like it replaces number one as a priority, but it's the one we would like to get information on the fastest.
Right, we want to make sure that gets in the budget process for next year.
Right.
Okay, so you're looking for doing something for 2027, even though there may be potentially in the future, 3, 5 years down the road, a different location for the clubhouse, you still want something interim.
Yep.
Interim is what I should have said. That
Right.
was, okay. So
Or
we're looking for,
long term if the clubhouse doesn't move.
right, interim to long term.
Right. And then.
So then what about number three?
Three is kind of tied to one,
Okay, so you're saying that is
And two.
tied.
But also two.
well, and also two.
Because if we
yeah.
build,
Thank you,
if we
thank you.
build the outdoor area, we're gonna naturally draw on people.
Yeah. So-
Okay, all right, so then it leaves 4 and 5. What do we decide there?
Well, four, we've talked about Top Tracer
We
and
have
some
Vince's
initial.
presentation.
So that is clearly outside of
Correct.
master
Well,
planning.
Well-
it might end up in master plan, but Vince already put together.
Some numbers, we
And
have
that's something
those.
the park board would want to consider in terms of an overall budget. You know,
Okay.
Top Tracer would be a part of the 2027 budget or 2028 budget. And then halfway house repairs, probably would take longer, because, well, what do you need to repair?
And that's where I think Shannon had volunteered, they might take a look at that from a staff perspective and come
Yes.
back with some ideas.
Yeah, we can do that. As far as the Top Tracer, though, I would say as far as that being added to the 27 budget, there's not enough capital to pay for that, or not enough reserve to pay for that in a 27 budget. So
What was the rough number?
it was over $1 million.
I think it all depends on it's all gonna depend on the scope of the project as far as, can the existing concrete be used? Can the existing lights be used? So I think there's a little bit more work that needs to go into
It's
it.
probably like a range, like 1 million low end.
Yeah, I would
And
say
up from-
million on the low side or 750 probably on the low side to call it $1.7 million, 2 million. It also depends on what type of trades are being used and so forth.
Okay, thank you.
And I certainly want to understand the ROI, and I think you put a little bit on that, but you were going to bake that out more, right? You're going to go look at some other facilities to see what they had done from revenue-wise post-investment.
Yeah, I can get you an updated ROI analysis like 10 days.
Yeah, that would be great, Vince, because that,
By-
if you're going
by
to present
mid-August.
something that's capital.
I'm sorry?
I'd like to know
By
if there's an
mid-August.
ROI.
Mid-August is great, yeah.
And this is something else that could end up being an interim, let's say if the clubhouse, let's say the driving range moves.
Yeah, I don't think the driving is
I
good.
don't know how much of it's reusable.
Well, who knows? I doubt
Yeah,
it, but you're
maybe.
right. Yeah, listen, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's wide open.
What
All
is,
kinds
what
of-
is the, what's the halfway house, what is being done, is it falling apart, is it, could it be built
Uh,
on site, dropped onto the site?
I mean, it could be something that's modular.
Yeah.
And I don't have enough to know if it's something that's, hey, we can just make some quick repairs and, get some of the stuff done in it, or if it's something that's just to tear down and plop something new. But yeah, I mean, they make modular buildings that do the same, that come the same, oh, yeah.
And drop it in there
Yeah.
and call it a day, and it'd be less than.
I've done that with restroom buildings
Yeah.
on courses before. It's not
Right
that
now,
big a deal.
it's for sure bathrooms are used,
Yeah,
and the fixtures are very old.
but the utilities out to it are fine.
In
Like,
terms,
that's the
It has,
bigger.
it has
Because-
power and water.
yeah, I mean, it was a food and beverage for years and years and years. That's where you got beer, hot dogs, whatever.
It's something that we
I
have
always
to
heard there were
look at.
Issues being able to provide that efficiently.
Yeah.
And for sure, it's tough on personnel. You gotta get someone who's gonna, okay, you gotta schlep everything out there and stuff. So, and the other thing was, could it just be like,
Well,
a
that's what I
shelter
was
for
gonna say.
lightning?
So a layer under that improvement was, can we just turn it into a lightning shelter since
Right.
we don't have one? And we do have a food and beverage cart now, so I don't know if we
Right.
need a
Right.
fixed.
Yeah,
Have
so,
it.
yeah, that'd be the other piece, so. I don't know if demolition comes under the
I
floodplain stuff or
I was
not.
just trying to think of a way to skirt rules and find a way to minimize the cost. And there's two pieces to it. One is the infrastructure, which is that's a bigger lift when you gotta replace your sewer, water services out there. The other is basically a box, and what goes in the box is where the cost is.
Yeah.
And how you get the box out, there's another question. You build it modularly and then drop it in instead of bringing all your trades out there. That may be a way.
I think it's even easier, we just blow out the area that was the food and beverage and turn that into a lightning shelter, and just,
Yeah,
right,
with
just make it
restaurants.
nicer.
Right. Yeah.
Worth noting that these last two, 4 and 5, when I look at those, pretty, number 5, you have a 4, a 3, a 2, a 4, a 4, and so I'm not sure, like I guess what I'm trying to get to is, are we as a group saying we need to do all 5 of these? Because as I hear about there being so much money, I'm wondering how much time we spend on the bottom 2 if we know that number 2 and number 3 are our priorities and there's no chance we have money for number 4 and 5. I guess we have to know how much
I think
money
we-
5 is.
I
right?
agree wholeheartedly, but I think we need to think more long-term, like, so if
Yeah.
number 4 is a priority that we want to pursue,
Yeah.
that might be 2028.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah, Mickey. can-
Yeah,
throw one
Scott, go
comment?
ahead.
Yeah. So I think the food and beverage is key. And, you know, we talked about Paddle providing dinner to people all winter long. They do manage to do it, but it's, you know, catering, bringing stuff in and out. And it's not, country clubs provide that through their kitchens. We don't have that kind of kitchen. If we did rebuild a clubhouse, the question would be, you know, what capacity would we need? What's the demand for this? Like, does it even work? Do they prefer the catering? So I see a lot of these, like the smaller versions of these projects being basically tests. You know, like if we improve the food and beverage a little bit, does the paddle use it at all? Does revenue increase? Do we see people coming out to hang out in these lounge areas? And that could give us like a real feedback mechanism from everything to see that, yeah, there is a reason to redo this in a big way and do the whole clubhouse for real. And then the top tracer, I would kind of look at the same way. Like, if we can look at revenue projections, and you know that pays for a bond, then I think that would probably go through pretty quickly. I would think.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think the return on investment is always, for me, is always a key. It's like,
Yep.
you're gonna do something, and it does generate revenue, so you look and,
Yeah.
we had the same discussion for the cart path. It was $1 billion too, and it's like, okay, what's the ROI on that stuff? And it wasn't a slam dunk. It was like, you know, when do we think we can get it back? And I think, Miles, I don't know how much we've generated revenue for cart usage, but it's a pretty healthy amount of money every year. So it's not gonna be long before that thing's been paid for,
Yeah.
in my mind. So, and was it worth it? And the other thing it does is bring in more rounds, so,
Right.
so.
Yeah, just imagine top tracer with food and beverage, you know.
All right, so here's where we're going with this. in
Can
case you
I
had-
make
yeah,
one
go
more
ahead,
quick point?
please.
Sorry. I don't know that and maybe today's not the day, but maybe it is. The halfway house repairs, I'm not clear on what that means yet either. I think we've talked about a lightning shelter. Is it worth repairing? Is the current scenario right? Because right now, the problem statement for that one in my head is there's unused facility that is dilapidated. And it's an eyesore, and people always go there and wonder why it's not open, especially folks from out of town who don't play as often. You know, why can't I get something here? There's a little bit of a distaste from that. Is there something that needs to happen, A, for us to do the full repair, food and beverage? Is that even warranted? I think is the first question. Is it warranted to do a full repair, drop something in, and have those services now associated with the halfway house?
Mhm.
If the answer is yes, then there's probably things we need to do, if that's gonna be a short-term, interim thing. If the answer is no, which I'm not sure where we stand on that, and we should have something there, just turn it into a lightning shelter so that the eyesore is gone and there's functionality. I think that's the first decision point from my perspective, and I just don't know if we have that down yet.
Well, and everything is like, so if you're gonna talk about halfway house repairs, what are they and what would they cost?
Yeah.
And then you can evaluate it for, is this a good use of money? And, you know, I would be, I think, personally, I think trying to recreate food and beverage service out there is a mistake. It was always hard to do before. It would certainly not get easier, so why spend, you know, yeah, if you want to spend money and do it, great. But otherwise, you know, listen, I got caught, you know, door guard went off when I was on the 10th tee, and I was glad I had a cart. But if I was on the 12th hole, I sure wish there'd be a lightning center, because
Yeah.
I've been on that golf course when lightning strikes, and it's dangerous.
My son almost got hit out there because he was on
Yeah.
14, couldn't get back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, okay, so, you know, we're starting to beat a horse here. So believe it or not, what we're going to go to next is to get a recommendation on the priorities list to be reprioritized. So, let me put it this way, I would still think number one is still number one. Would anyone disagree? On the priority list, which is long-term consideration of newer reconfigured clubhouse facility.
So, Mickey, I think we just went through this, right? So, Tina,
Well, yeah, but
just
then we gotta
recaptured
say,
it, right?
are we saying, yeah, this is it? So last meeting, we just everyone kind of put in their priority stuff, and here's how it kind of shook out. So this is like confirmation, yeah, is this our priority?
So you're basically
list?
asking everyone, does anyone have a major issue with how this came out?
Right, or they
Or a
wanna,
concern,
or they
I
wanna
should say,
move,
concern with how this came out.
do they wanna move 3 in front of 2? Or, you know, that they still wanna have number 5, that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of going with that. I would think all of us would agree that number one priority stays. I would also suggest item number 2 would stay as item number 2.
Can I ask the question, what are we saying the prioritization results in? Is it gonna be,
Yeah, I think the way we've been talking about this top 5 is, you know, makes perfect sense, right? Like, what can we do now? What should we defer? And the order of these 5 doesn't necessarily matter as much. And I think there is kind of a big fall off from 5 to 6 here. So just having these 5 as like a group to focus on.
Yeah, they just kind of shook to the top.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, these are things that get talked about and tossed around, and if something can be done soon, then do that. And if something's a long-term, then do that.
And they would
There's
be,
not really an order to them.
they would be the items that would be brought to the park board for consideration
Right.
in budget conversations.
So that's the second piece to that is, are we good with the ranking? And 2, are we good that we would say, we want this presented to the park board?
We have some work to do though, right? So we just decided that we're gonna defer number 1 until the code agreed for work, and then we're gonna go pursue the other 4.
It doesn't say when.
So if I could clarify, I believe the idea is to be able to provide a report to the park board that says, these are the priorities. Here they are. And I think that's the potential motion or action of the advisory board, is to inform the park board, these are our things. How they flush out, whether it's within the master plan or within the budget or whatever that is, I think is almost a separate issue. This is more of, these are the things that we as the advisory board want to let the entire park board know are the important things to us.
Right. Well said. That's what I meant. All right, so that being the case, so does this need to be a motion to do this, or what do you think?
Never hurts to have it
Okay.
officially
All right,
official.
so may I have a motion to recommend priorities as prioritized be presented to the park board for consideration? Someone's got to say.
sorry, I know it's getting late here, and I apologize, but I think yes, with a caveat. I think that as long as it's being presented with some of the with many of the voice tracks and follow-ons that we've had, like I think the halfway house repairs by itself, we can't really present it that way, like what does that mean, right? And we've talked about a couple options, so if you're saying, like that report's gonna have all of that, then yes. But I think there's a couple of nuances to it that I just don't know how we're gonna present that, and that would be helpful. Do you feel like you have all of that, and is there something that we are gonna look at and say, yes, this captures everything? Because just right here, I don't think it captures everything.
I think it's a great point, because there's gonna, you present halfway house, like you mentioned, immediately there's great questions. Well, what does that mean? What are the boundaries around that? So.
Right.
Well, I think a lot of that too is staff has to go back too and see what are the repairs. So if the question is, because usually even when we bring something to the park board as staff, it's here are the options. Here is option 1, 2, and 3 of what we think could be done with this particular thing. Here is the option that is $1.50, here is the option that is $1,000, and here's the option that is more than we can pay for. So it gives the different options for, hey, this is what you could do, but if the goal is to look at, this is a dilapidated building, do something, then that's how I look at it as staff, is that's a dilapidated building, let's do something. And then we can come up based on our expertise, working with Kemper, working with our staff on what that actually could look like. And then we can provide that information as we move forward. Same with some of the other options too. I mean, I know that there are some things that are going on with food and beverage right now. I know that some of the QR codes just went live. So there are things happening in that realm. And once we have this priority list, then we as staff and we as Kemper can go through the exercise of what does that look like on paper for a lot of those things.
Very helpful, Shannon, thank you. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So maybe as a, and that's not a compromise, maybe as a clarification, if we're saying halfway house repairs, we could expand it to say halfway house repairs and/or alternative use.
Or do we just decide now that we don't
Yeah.
want a halfway
Or you
house
just
there,
don't wanna have it.
we want a
Lightning
lightning shelter?
Right.
That's where I said.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah,
everyone
so-
kind of has said food and
Right.
beverages.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
If
okay
if you're
dropping
adding
it for
QR
now.
codes so that they can pre-order for the
Yeah,
clubhouse.
we don't
whatever.
need it.
What
And
about
we
the
have
bathrooms?
Bathrooms, if they're there, they
Yeah.
work, do they need to be rehashed
Yeah. Oh, listen,
eventually?
So lightning shelter.
when you
plus
get to be my age,
There's-
John, you're gonna
there's
want
existing
bathrooms there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't,
They're not free, but they're.
No, but that's a good point.
are they operational,
Yes,
are they?
most days.
Most days.
It's-
Repairs.
It's repairs and nightmares.
But I was just talking about the use, when you say, okay, what is this building gonna be used for? It's gonna be used as a lighting shelter, and it's gonna have bathrooms, but beyond that,
Yes.
there's no other functionalities.
Right.
Yes.
So I don't know how you incorporate that into.
I mean, you put it in parentheses, that's what you're looking for.
All right, so halfway house repairs / lightning shelter.
No, I don't
No,
think
halfway
we need-
house repair / restroom.
Okay.
Motion to amend to number 5 to halfway house repairs / restroom with a parentheses lightning shelter after it.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All right, so no other discussion, so let's vote on that amendment. Saba, let's make that a voice vote. I mean, a individual.
Well, they made a motion, the first motion, I don't believe had or the first requested motion didn't have a motion. So right now, the only motion on the table is
To
To-
amend number 5.
to amend number 5. So do you want to do each of them individually, or do you want to vote all at one time? Do you want to say your motion is for all of these things with the amendment of number 5?
Okay, I will raise, I will retract that motion.
So
I
go
will
for it.
raise another motion to approve all of these as is, with the exception of number 5, which we will amend to halfway house repairs / restroom parenthesis lightning shelter.
Second.
No.
I'll second it.
Now we can go to roll call.
Okay.
And that was seconded by John?
Yep. Thanks, John.
Okay. So let's go. Mr. Finnegan?
Yes.
Mr. Kunkel?
Yes.
Mr. Lombardo?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Ms. Rosinas?
Yes.
And Chairperson Archibald?
Yes.
And Commissioner Tyson?
Yes.
And Commissioner Corley?
Yes.
The motion
Thank you.
passes.
Well done. Well done. Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna go on to item number 6, so hopefully we don't, so hopefully this will be all good news update stuff. So, it's staff update, Kemper Sports, so, I hope you guys are gonna be addressing the prior list that we put in an Excel spreadsheet, because I wanna know, okay, here's this whole list, stuff, a lot of this stuff was planned for this year, has it been done, where are we, if it's not, is it still gonna be done this year and when? So, take it away.
I'll start with the board report. I'll just go through that order then. But yeah, so board report, just quickly touching on the marketing update, strong performance, social media, paid advertising, website performance, continuing to see a lot of people booking through our website, which is the preferred for us. We have 14 outings booked for 2026. We hosted a few over the last month. This is the May report, as we have not done financials for June as of yet. Last month we hosted the Winnetka Open. We had really strong feedback for that event. We also hosted the state amateur qualifier. We have a qualifier for the Illinois Open here in about a week and a half. We had two IJGA events in the last 2 weeks for the juniors. One on the 18 hole, one on the par 3. We have an additional one in 2 weeks on the 18 hole. And then today is actually our final week of the PGA Hope program. Looking through departmental reports, so Aaron Becker, many of you have met him already, is our new director of agronomy. He began on June 1st. I think he's come in and done a fabulous job. First kind of tackled was some of the weed issues that we had, both in the bunkers and some of the clover on the golf course. So a lot of that has been addressed and looks significantly better. Green speeds have also been kind of a priority of his. We did acquire a new roller on loan to us to help kind of fill the hole with some issues that we've had with the roller that we have on site. So that's improved green speeds considerably as well. He's also focused on some landscaping projects around the clubhouse, tidied that up. I think that's looking better as well. The golf shop, we are fully staffed in there now, have all of our product for the season. Driving range continues to be strong. May was an incredibly strong month for us. June continued that as well. Weather seems to really be the only thing slowing the range down at any given day. We added new range balls at the beginning of the year. We actually are going to be opening up new range balls again after our next clean pick. And then food and beverage, obviously that's a separate line item here for us to touch on, but we are continuing to work through some operational improvements in food and beverage. We do have some staff that we've brought in from other Kemper facilities to assist with that. We've made some good strides over the last few weeks. We did implement the QR code ordering. That is now live. Listening to Troy, some of your comments, I think what we're going to look at is also putting some more signage on the halfway house. So people aren't necessarily saying, oh, why is this closed? And, hey, it's closed, but here's how I can get food. And, it's instead of just nothing, hey, here's the option. So we'll be getting some new signage out there as well. Otherwise, May financials, they didn't change much. This was based on prelims when this went out, but the finals didn't really change. But it was a very strong month. Revenue of $509,000 on a budget of $401. Came in under in payroll, and operating expenses were a little high. A lot of that was deferred from previous months, where uniforms, for example, is one where we got hit in May instead of April. But NOI came in just shy of $100,000 over budget. And rounds were strong as well. I can tell you June was also a very strong month for us. So not quite as far over budget, but still good. Yeah.
Okay,
Anything to add?
so, and I still want to go through some of the list of, hey, is this still planned to be done kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
some quick questions. So you've implemented, so you put up the signs for the barcode on the halfway house and
Yes.
17th Tee. Is that also on the carts themselves?
It's on 8 and 17. It is on the golf carts. They're not live yet. They have to update through Wi-Fi, so those will go live tonight when they're all parked in the barn.
Okay.
So tomorrow they should.
So if you're in a cart, how does it, is it just gonna, when you get
It's
to the 8th tee,
geofence,
it's
so when
gonna
you,
beep you or
basically,
something?
yeah, so when you drive up to 8T or you drive up to 17T, that geofence of you driving up to those areas will activate that QR code popping up inside the golf cart.
Awesome, awesome. And then you're gonna, Matt's working on, so Matt's the new interim food and beverage manager, and he's working on how we can deliver the stuff from the clubhouse to the 10th tee. Is there any thought on that or any update on that?
We haven't talked specifically about that, but that's something we can look into. But yeah, I think the idea is just with the pre-ordering that they would be ready at the turn for them.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I was surprised even Monday, there were 3 groups waiting on 10 tee on Monday. It was like,
Mondays are
it
busy.
surprised me.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing, the green roller, so you're borrowing one, is it gonna be in next year's budget to get a new one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then I've harped on this, Miles, to you about on the driving range, if we could get a smaller size bucket of balls for people to just warm up instead of spending $14 or $18 for a half or a full bucket. So if we could get a smaller bucket that maybe has 20 golf balls, I think that would be an improvement and a very welcome change.
I think, yeah,
Any
that's something we
disagreement?
look at. as
No,
one of
no,
our
and
answers.
Miles, I know I raised this earlier, that the pricing incents people to get the full bucket.
Right.
And as a result, they tend to take the balls. And I mean, I've been there 5 times last week and witnessed 2 or 3 baskets leaving the parking lot, right? I don't,
Yeah.
and that's probably $40 worth of
Yeah.
material, that's,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're hopeful it's
Yeah.
gonna come back.
Yeah, I'd like it to be, let's try it. If it works and, you know, it's not a huge decrease in revenue, but, you know, great. Who knows, maybe it's gonna bump up your revenue, because some guys might go, oh, okay, it's extra 20 balls, I'll do that, versus not doing anything. Okay,
Just one other, can you sell them warm-up balls just when they're paying for a round of 18 holes? Instead of having it available outside? So that way you're not poaching revenue for people
That's a good
that are
idea.
just, like, that way
That's
it's like
fine,
it's,
that's fine.
it's clarified as just warm-up and you buy it with inside.
Yeah, I think if we were gonna do that, that's how we would approach it.
Okay.
In fact, we probably.
That way you're giving them what they want, but you're not like.
Yeah, I
eating
mean, we would
revenue
likely, if
from-
that would be something we would move forward with, we would probably have to look at having those pre-bagged in the golf shop. Because our
right,
ball dispenser would be able to dispense anything less than a small bucket.
right. Okay. All right, so food and beverage update, I still wanna get to this list. So food and beverage update, is anything from Matt, or that, we got some good things, or?
Yeah, so we're just, like I said, we're continuing to work through staffing, bringing some additional staffing in. We had 2 new employees start over the weekend. We have another one that'll be starting here in a couple days. We have another return that'll be starting this week as well. And then looking at vendors, we brought in some new bread today to test some of that. Just looking at some of those operational items, looking at adding some additional vendors to improve our selection. And then looking, for example, ice machine to increase capacity. So we did run out a couple times last week, just because we do have smaller ice machines. So looking at how can we improve that capacity, is it an ice machine issue or storage issue, that kind of stuff. So he's been helpful with all that.
Okay.
I think, just to add a couple things on food and beverage, Matt's been working on some, procedural matters with the team, some very, what I like to call blocking and tackling, just making sure that the back of the house understands exactly how long to cook a chicken tender, exactly how long to cook the pizza bread so it comes out consistent and the same each and every time. Working with the bartenders on some procedural items and just everyday processes behind the bar as well. We also have another operations person that'll be starting with the team next Monday. from another facility. And he'll be on site for at least 60 days, starting on Monday the 13th, I think that is.
For food and beverage?
For operations as a whole, but yeah, his background is primarily in F&B and golf as well.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Oh, and then the last thing for the patio, so I know you've got new furniture there, and I think the plan was to add some TVs and get the sound system up and stuff, is that?
Yeah, so the TVs were installed last week, so those are up and operational. Have a little bit of additional wiring to get them connected to the cable boxes, but they've been working. And then audio will be done by the end of the week as well to add that out there as well.
Okay, great.
So,
Can I make a comment on that one? I'm hopeful that people start using that area, but also maybe healthy level of skepticism. And so if there's a way for us to collect feedback on what people think about it,
yeah.
just so that we don't keep pouring any money into it if indeed there's another issue with it and it wasn't the chairs and the TVs.
Right.
Because the only time I've seen people spill into there personally is when it's raining.
Yeah.
We need the people that want to be hanging out there first before we need the space. And so I'd just be curious to get that feedback. Obviously, I have a little bit of thoughts, but I think nothing's better than hearing from the folks that are coming in and out. So I don't know if it's adding it to the survey or what we could do logistically to capture that, but that's a thought.
It's a great idea. Okay. I'll save drinking fountains for last, but quickly would like to go through. Well, the first item on the priority list is going to be a discussion. So it's recycling. So I know you have receptacles for recycling at the clubhouse, but we don't really have a recycling program. So, I mean, Shannon, that's why I said.
Nor do we have a bin, so all the recycling that's captured at the golf course goes in the garbage.
Goes where?
In the garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that's what happens, I don't know. So I did send a note to Shannon earlier, it's like, okay, does the Park District have a contract with a recycling company? If not, would it be difficult to get one? Because I would think if you could get one, you'd want to add it to paddle, tennis, for the whole complex. It probably means a container besides just receptacles. And then the other thing is in terms of responsibility, I'm guessing that's Park District versus Kemper, or does it matter?
So what I would say is the note that I got was less than an hour before the meeting started.
Oh, no,
So I haven't had a chance to look into anything yet.
Yeah.
But I would say that we do not have anything in specifics right now in regards to recycling contractors. It is something that when you're looking at whatever you're trying to recycle, there are costs associated with that at whichever facility that you're going to do. It's not a free service that's provided, so it's something that we would have to look at the costs and put that out there as far as bids and that sort of thing.
Master plan.
My understanding is it's based on volume, and the cost for recycling is far less than your waste. So if you reduce your waste in half, then you're paying for it.
Understood. I got the message less than an hour before the meeting started. I have not looked into it at all.
Yeah, because the other component of that is, okay, you've got receptacles at the clubhouse, but you have trash cans out on the golf course. So it's like, okay, someone then needs to be trained on staff to, when you're going out and getting this stuff. So either you get extra trash cans that are recycling only, good luck with that. Or, as they're picking this stuff up, someone's gonna have to quickly sort through it.
It's an easy equation to solve, yeah.
Yeah, so, all right, so that's it.
Can I know
Go
we're
ahead.
getting late here, but we only have one of these a quarter. That is a big priority for me personally, just, because I know for the village, I see it in a lot of places. I think the village, broadly speaking, would probably be supportive. If you ask people, I think people would be very supportive. And if the equation really is that there's not a lot of cost to it, I'm starting to wonder, will it get the attention if we don't have it on that priority sheet? Is there a way to add that as a sixth priority if everyone agrees? Or is there anything we need to do in order to get there?
For me, it's almost beyond the priority list. It's like, why wouldn't you do it?
Right, but I'm wondering, us saying that is one thing, but if we're trying to say, here is our list of priorities, do we want to add that as a sixth priority?
I I don't know. What do you
Or,
guys-
or,
what do
or,
you
or,
think?
I mean, if someone can kind of make me feel comfortable that, oh yeah, we'll definitely do that, it sounds like it makes sense. I just wonder logistically if that will happen, or will it help, maybe I'll ask the Park District Board, will it help if we add that to the list in order to get traction on it?
I mean, I can say that we can look into it. I can't guarantee what will or can be done, because a lot of those types of programs, they also depend on making sure that the items are commingled correctly, and we don't have the staff internally to make sure that happens. So if you have a recycling bin out in the middle of the golf course and somebody puts a piece of regular trash in it, automatically that entire bin is contaminated and can't be recycled. So the best way to recycle is you have somebody standing at a trash bin and say, nope, that goes there, nope, that goes there, nope, that goes there. So it's better now than it has been in the past with those types of things, but I haven't done a lot of work on that, particularly for the golf course. So it's something that would have to be looked at. I don't know, like I said, it can be looked at. We can look at those types of things. But there's no way for me to say right now whether it's feasible or not, or what those costs would or wouldn't be.
So Shannon, two things. One, it's not just for the golf course, it's every facility here has no recycling, right? So I view this as a park district.
So this is the Golf Advisory Board. So,
Yeah.
Just stating that one dumpster is for everybody here, right? So
Understood.
It impacts everybody. And the second is, you know my wife, right? She does this for a living
Mhm.
and has already raised her hand to help, so it's
Mhm.
a free service that she's happy to.
Outside resource if we need it.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna move on. The rest in terms of facility and clubhouse improvements we talked about, the next one is drinking fountains. Update on that.
The drinking fountains are on the golf course on hole 3, 6, 13, 15, and 17 are now operational. David Walsh spent a bunch of time out there today and got all those operational. We also have a new one that's going out at the halfway house that'll be completed by tomorrow. It's on the wall, it just doesn't work yet.
And that's bottle fill.
It
and
is
chilled.
with a bottle filler and chiller, yes.
And the ones that I,
Go ahead, Vince.
To sum it up, the only two drinking fountains that are out on the facility that are not operational are the ones that, the old drinking fountains on 9 and 10. Right? 9 and 10, I think.
And
that's
6.
correct.
6 is operational.
6 is
Six is
operational.
operational.
I
Okay.
use it myself.
Yeah.
But those don't have chillers, right?
The
Okay.
chiller was working when we were out there, yes.
I'm sorry.
It was working when we were out there.
Oh, man, that is awesome.
so
That is
operational
awesome.
means they're all being chilled as well.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
It stays that way.
So
We'll
we're
see
gonna,
it, but it
we're gonna
was
take the ones
operational.
down on 9, the old ones on 9 and 10, we're gonna take them down.
Yeah. I think
So
David
any-
kind of piecemealed some of them. back
Yeah,
to it.
and I will tell you that is gonna be a non-issue, because
Yeah.
now you've got
Yeah,
one at
the
the
water
halfway
level.
house, so. The halfway house does have some purpose, because now it's got a drinking fountain there, besides the lightning shelter.
So now that those are operational, is the plan to stop giving away water?
No, we still have water on 1 and 10, so no, maybe. We still have the water, the coolers on 1 and 10, the par 3 and the driving range as well, so.
But I don't know, that just comes at a cost, right? We also don't have recycling, so every one of those plastic bottles goes in garbage, but, I don't know, maybe we should
Well,
propose.
here's a suggestion, so if we've got these things working and they're chilled, we never had to give away water before, because if you wanted water, you didn't have to go very far to get it.
Right.
So, maybe as
Yeah,
your
let's-
pilot
let's
is.
get, maybe
not
let's get
as-
the next,
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
the
let's
pilot
ensure
is-
that they continue to work.
Let everyone know, hey, listen, the drinking
Instead of having
fountains
to
are
bring that
back
up
up and
and
running, chilled, and, and we're dispensing with giving out free water on 1 and 10. I think that would be great. That's an awesome, nice update. Thank you. All right, I'm kind of straining to read this stuff. Repair failing bulkheads on the Nice T, I know that's been done. Oh, so this is the one on the second hole. So is that a budget? You're gonna put in money in the budget for next year to repair the bulkhead on the second tee?
That's one we are working with Parks on.
Right.
I know Aaron and Kosa have been in contact about that. I don't know where they left off with that, but I can find out.
Okay.
Update you.
I mean, I think that should need to be done, otherwise that earth is just gonna keep going into the pond, and it's an eyesore. Okay, dredging the ponds, we know is long-term. Repair,
The railroad ties are.
railroad ties are done. Boy Scouts did a great job, in case you guys didn't know. Boy Scouts did that project. They did a great job. They look terrific. I guess I need glasses again. Halfway house we talked about. Oh, the clocks. So what this subject is years ago, there were like big Rolex clocks on the 4th tee and on the 12th tee. And the benefit of them was, if you started at 8 o'clock, when you got to the 4th tee, that clock should say, it's 8 o'clock. So you would know if you were on time, and if not, you would know immediately how far behind you are. No one seems to know whatever happened to those clocks.
Yeah, so I'll address that one really quickly. So, you know, pace of play, we monitor pace of play through, obviously through the pace technology, the golf cart technology. And pace of play has actually been extremely on time for the most of the season. But I did order 3 clocks. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt to put the clocks out there. The constant reminder for players to make sure that you're within pace of play, that you're, you know, when you reach the 4th hole, you reach this hole and your tee time should have been X, matching that particular clock.
Yep.
So I did order 3. It's going to take a little time for production, but I did do that.
Okay, yeah, because, you know, I'm in a walking group, John's in a walking group, so it's not like we can refer to a cart to tell us if we're in front or behind, so that's
100%,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay. Then the next thing is for, I know in next year, you're gonna budget for next year for new ball washers. For this year, if we could put water in them and whatever detergent and add towels, what's the status of that?
Towels went out today. They're out right now. We
Okay.
put them out this morning.
So they're
actually.
filled, they got detergent, and they got
Yes.
water in them. Awesome. And you're
Yeah.
gonna order one for 18?
Yes.
Okay. Tee boxes and stuff, I don't have my glasses. Well, I'll open it up this way. Do you guys have some things you noticed on the golf course and have questions on that you thought was
Do you
gonna
want
be
me to
done
just
this year?
address
maybe
the
not?
list?
I'm sorry?
I can also just address this list directly for anything that was already done. You completed off of that. The divot fill boxes at the 10th tee are put out there. That's complete. Also added the one on 15. There's also another one at the halfway house, as well as the bottles on 1 and 10. We did put additional bunker rakes out at the beginning of the season. Vince touched on that. The mobile or food ordering, we touched on that earlier. The signage at 8 and 17, we have new signage on order. Again, we'll also add some signage on the halfway house as well to address that. And then the trees on the backside of 6, we have 3 new trees back there, 2 white maples and 1 hackberry. So those are all the ones that are completed off that list.
Okay. And you planted 2 apple trees, so near and dear to my heart, thank you, and thank you to Park District.
13.
I know it sounds silly, but it was important to me. And they're going in memoriams for 2 golfers. And I know Dave Walsh was talking about getting more. So what the men's club is going to do is, you know, to make sure they're approved by the Park District, but we're gonna replicate the style of the plaques. And they're gonna be in memoriam for some golfers who passed, which is great. So, okay, what else am I missing on this list that anyone would?
I
want an
just,
update on?
I'll take the moment while everyone else thinks, just to say that I think, you know, every meeting we've been to, this is a long list, and I'm always impressed at how responsive Kemper has been in helping find ways to achieve these improvements, so big thank you.
Yep, echo that. All right, if there's nothing else on it, so you could update this thing and could republish it, right, for stuff that's done? That'd be awesome. Thank you, Saba, as well. I wasn't gonna neglect you in that process. All right, we'll move on to item number 7. So member comments. So please limit your comments to 3 minutes. John, if you don't mind, I will start with you.
No comments except for one, the course is unbelievable shape. Given the heat, it's great.
Jackie?
No comments other than looking forward to seeing what, the other master plan stuff has and,
Okay. Eric?
No comments today, thank you.
Troy?
I told Vince before, but just on the record, got a chance to meet Matt, and I've also talked to some of the employees, and the one that's here from Streamsong, and they had some really great things to say, that he's bringing a lot of good culture to that food and beverage area where I think they needed that, and so the improvements are coming too, so just props there, and I think Vince said he's gonna look into making him a permanent fixture. No, he didn't say that, but yeah, just that's the only comment I have.
So the new woman you hired behind the bar was fantastic.
Jasmine?
Jasmine, that's her
Yeah.
name. I couldn't remember
She's
her name.
great.
She was working so hard, like I haven't ever seen it behind the bar, which was great. And then Matt's great as well. I actually appreciated he was running a food special, which I don't know if I've ever seen in Winnetka. So great.
Yeah, did you get it?
Be careful, he might, be careful, Toco or some of the other places might want to nab them.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Scott?
Just thank all of you guys for your efforts. This has been a great meeting, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right, don't jump out of your chairs yet, so I've got a few. One, thank you, so we're halfway through the season, we've talked a bunch of stuff. I think, we got, in case you didn't know, we got our position statement approved by the board, because I presented that to them in the May meeting. So that's been approved. And I want all of us to kind of reflect as like, okay, we're halfway through the season. Where would we like to be at the end of the year? So you don't have to answer that now, but, it's kind of what I'm thinking about. It's like, okay, are we moving forward? Is there anything we're missing? Is there other stuff we should be doing differently? And I think October, if that's our next meeting, that'd be a good time to say, okay, we've had 5 meetings. We doing this the right way? Is there something else we want to do differently? That would be great. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm super pumped for the stuff you guys have just instituted. So getting a new food and beverage manager, getting some of this stuff rolling that I know you've been really jonesing to do. And, if we can get the patio up and going, and great idea to get a survey is like, again, is this an effective use? Do people have suggestions? I don't know, you put cushions out, whatever it might be. It'd be good to do a survey on that. And other than that, I know what it was, divot fill. So Vince and I had a chance to chat about, last year we did divot fill nights. You guys are welcome to join us. But literally it was men's club people, sometimes with their wives, sometimes with their kids, and they came out and basically Kemper staff prepared carts with all the divot fill mix with seed and all that stuff. And we picked select holes and we went out there and filled divots. Unfortunately, last year was a big issue with divots. It wasn't that way in the spring, but it's reared its ugly head. And a week ago, Monday, a friend of mine and I played and we picked up 200 divots. So that's weekend play, and people just do not put back their divots. It's shameful. I'd love to catch them doing it. I'd love to kick them off the course, but I don't have that power. But it's kind of like, okay, that's the animal we have to deal with. So either Kemper has to get a whole bunch of staff and have resources out there to fill divots all the time, or we haven't had a divot fill party yet, and I think it's a great time to, if people haven't, to meet Matt, and for sure to meet Aaron. So I would assume Aaron would join us, and Matt's gonna have some good food and beverage for us afterwards. Kemper's gonna sponsor that. So I think we said a week from Thursday?
Next
The
Thursday.
16th, yeah.
A week from this Thursday, so we gotta, if he asks Pat Dowdle to put something on the board and see if we can get some recruits, I think it's gonna be great. And then have Aaron and or Dave Walsh say, okay, here's the holes we'd like you guys to hit. I think it'll be a great time. So, all right, anything else? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:04.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Okay, all those in favor